What if everyone disappeared from Earth? Have you ever wondered what would happen if, in an instant, every human on Earth vanished? No chaos, no destruction, no warning, just a sudden absence of all people. What would become of our cities, our monuments, and the planet we've shaped for thousands of years? Would nature triumph, or struggle to adapt to the world we've left behind? This video takes you on a fascinating journey through a future without humankind, uncovering the resilience of Earth and the lasting mark we leave on our planet. If humanity vanished, the first noticeable change would be silence. Cities would be eerily quiet, with no cars, machinery, or voices to disturb the air. Within minutes, trains and planes would come to a halt, stranding them wherever they were. Meanwhile, power plants would begin shutting down automatically without humans to maintain them. Within 24 hours, the world would plunge into darkness as electrical grids fail. Streets and buildings, once buzzing with life, would become ghostly remnants of civilization.
As days pass, nature would begin to reclaim its due. Without anyone to mow the lawns or pull the weeds, plants would sprout between roads, sidewalks, and buildings. Rats, pigeons, and stray animals would emerge boldly, taking over streets and neighborhoods. Domesticated pets like dogs and cats left behind would start to instinctively form packs to survive. Small changes, almost imperceptible, would be the first steps in Earth's transformation. Imagine the cityscapes we cherish today, metropolises like New York, Tokyo, or Paris. Over days and weeks, the vibrant cities built by human innovation would face gradual decay. Unused water systems would burst, flooding streets and subways. Skyscrapers, still towering over the cities, would slowly weather under relentless rain, sun, and wind. Nature would spread its roots, turning once manicured parks into dense forests and ancient monuments into canvases for moss and vines. With humans gone, wildlife would cautiously wander into territories once feared. Urban predators like foxes and coyotes would settle comfortably in empty neighborhoods, while deer would roam freely through suburban lawns. Wolves and bears might take over rural areas, signaling a return of the natural order. Over time, ecosystems would rebalance as certain species flourish and others adapt to this new opportunity. But it wouldn't be easy for all animals. Farm creatures such as cows, chickens, and sheep, bred for human purposes, would struggle to survive. Without protection or the food provided by humans, many may face extinction in the wild. By the end of the first month, human infrastructure would show clear signs of deterioration. Roads and bridges would crack as plants forced their way through. Without maintenance, buildings that once seemed indestructible would begin to erode. Metal structures, exposed to moisture, would start to rust. Vehicles abandoned on city streets would become rusting husks, sinking into the earth as nature overwhelms them. Skyscrapers and iconic landmarks, symbols of our most modern achievements, would still stand tall, but not forever. Eventually, weathering would weaken even the strongest stone structures, and vegetation would claim them as part of the landscape. One of the most significant changes in this post-human Earth would be seen in the air and water. With factories shut down, vehicles motionless, and no agriculture polluting the environment, air quality would improve dramatically within days. Smog would clear from the cities, revealing clearer skies than they've had in centuries.
Rivers and water systems, often controlled or blocked by dams, would return to their natural state. Uneven flooding would transform environments, creating new wetlands and opportunities for aquatic life to thrive. Over decades, water systems would realign to a more balanced, natural flow. As quickly as nature heals, there is no escaping the environmental damage humans have caused. Plastics, bags, bottles, and microfibers would remain scattered across the planet for hundreds, if not thousands of years. Nuclear waste from power plants would exist as a toxic legacy, dangerous to both the soil and the surrounding ecosystems. Similarly, chemical dumps and landfills would leak harmful substances into the ground, a haunting reminder of human consumption. While the environment would adapt and recover, these remnants of human activity would persist, shaping Earth's future in unusual and unpredictable ways. Over months and years, species once pushed to the brink of extinction by human activity might begin to rebound. Whales and marine species would thrive in oceans free from fishing vessels. Forest animals like tigers and elephants, no longer battling habitat destruction, could see growing populations. Invasive species, though, might disrupt ecologies left vulnerable by humanity's departure. Without human intervention, the delicate balances in many ecosystems could shift in unexpected ways. Domesticated animals, including pets and livestock, may struggle to adjust to a life without humans. Dogs could attempt to form packs, but it's unlikely they would be able to compete with wild predators. On the other hand, cats, with their more independent nature, might adapt and thrive better than their canine counterparts. Fast forward a century, and the Earth would look very different. Cities would be unrecognizable, reduced to ruins, buried beneath forests and wetlands. Skyscrapers and bridges would have collapsed, leaving only piles of metal and rubble. Roads, unused for decades, would vanish under layers of plants and trees. Airports and vast parking lots would transform into sprawling meadows.
Meanwhile, rural farmlands would become forests again, with the soil finally replenished after years of fertilization and intensive farming. Human-made objects like plastic and glass might still be visible, but natural life would take the place of farms, towns, and suburbs. The Earth would adapt, transforming into a planet that no longer shows the dominance of humanity. With humans out of the picture, one of the most profound impacts would be on the global climate. Carbon dioxide levels, once spiking from human industries, would gradually fall. Without cars, power plants, or factories emitting greenhouse gases, the Earth's temperature would stabilize over time. Urban heat islands, cities that trap high temperatures, would cool as vegetation takes over. However, some damage from humanity could last for thousands of years. Climate balance isn't restored overnight, and the scars of global warming would fade only gradually. Though humans would disappear, our mark on the planet would remain. Plastics, radiation zones, and cities in ruins would tell the story of our existence long after we're gone. Satellites and debris orbiting Earth would be silent witnesses to a civilization that once reached for the stars. Artifacts made of stone or metal would endure the longest, eventually turning into relics for whatever future species may arise to find them. These remnants are both a testament to human ingenuity and a warning about our impact on ecosystems. They remind us that great achievements often come with tremendous responsibility. The disappearance of humans from Earth paints a fascinating picture of how quickly nature would adapt and rebuild in our absence. Forests would grow, rivers would flow freely, and animals would reclaim habitats. Earth's ecosystems are incredibly resilient, rebounding long after we've gone. But more importantly, this vision serves as a reflection of how deeply humans impact the world around us. It shows both our ability to shape the planet and the potential cost of neglecting our environment. So what does this thought experiment teach us? A world without humanity reveals both the fragility of human structures and the incredible strength of natural systems. It shows us the lasting effects of our actions, both the harm we cause and the beauty we create. Perhaps we don't need to disappear for nature to thrive. By learning to live harmoniously with our planet, we can preserve both human civilization and the ecosystems we depend on. Let this vision inspire us to be better caretakers of the Earth before we become nothing more than shadows in its history.